Okay. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I am the Y2K collector, and I am back shooting a quick video on my phone. And this video is actually being done in response to a comment that I got on one of my last videos about some of the new content. So first off, I want to say thank you to everyone who's been subscribed to the channel for the past few years, who's just been on the game collecting journey. Even though the pandemic is over, and even though a lot of the hype around video game collecting has died down, I still have been collecting. I have still been adding to my collection, but I've been extremely selective. And I'm just gonna go through here just a few games that I've picked up in 2023. I have not done a lot of game hunting, and I've been very particular about the games that I've added to my collection, just because I'm completely avoiding all shovelware, and I'm just getting the games that either have nostalgic value to me or are just really cool, rare, or hard finds. And I collect for everything: Super Nintendo, Genesis, the old stuff, the new stuff. So we have a mix of that here today, and I'm gonna go through all of that with you. So let's go ahead and start it off. So the first pickup that I have here for 2023 is this really clean copy of Sonic Blastman for the Super Nintendo, or Sonic Blastman 2 is a really cool beat 'em up for the Super Nintendo, one that I was glad that I added. Sold a few games and took that and went ahead and got Sonic Blastman 2 for the Super Nintendo. So that was a cool find. The next one that I've got here is Fantasy Star rather, online for the Dreamcast. This was complete in box. Traded away a few Nintendo Switch games to pick this up at a local game store here. So went ahead and added that, and it's complete in box. It's mint. It's still got all of the codes. The manual is super clean. As you can see when you look at it, it's got all the codes there. So really cool stuff on the Fantasy Star Online too. So super hype about that. Then I went ahead and got a copy of Power Stone. I've had Power Stone before on the Dreamcast, and I actually have Power Stone for the PSP, but I didn't have a clean copy for the Dreamcast like recently. Like I sold my old copy and I kept my copy of Power Stone 2. So I was able to trade for this. Again, a decent copy. This is pretty clean. I mean, the manual definitely looks like someone was playing this, and Power Stone was one of the more fun games that was out back when I was in high school. So this is one that I wanted to add just because Power Stone is really fun. It's like a fun 3D fighting game. Pretty cool. Next game up is Flynn, Son of Crimson. I'm all about like beautiful 2D platformers, like sprite-based platformers, and Flynn, Son of Crimson is definitely that. Very good looking game. This one is by Super Rare. I think they're getting ready to release this on the PS4. So if you don't have this on the Switch, you can always get it on the PS4. But this is a really cool game. Wanted to add it. I have the digital download. I'm going to keep this one sealed just because Super Rare is one of the few companies that's still making like limited edition games on the Switch. I think limited run, you can get their stuff now on like Amazon, which is cool. I mean, more accessibility for everyone, but just not as rare. All right, next game up we have is Islets. I think that's how you say this. This is another action platforming game made by Super Rare, a pretty cool one here. This is one that I wanted to add. I don't collect all the Super Rare and all the strictly limited games, but certain ones I do get, and this is one that I added to the collection there. So then we have another trade pickup here. Really clean copy of Gunstar Heroes for the Sega Genesis. Most of my Sega Genesis collection is complete in box. I do have a few loose Sega Genesis games like Gargoyles and Ristar, but when I saw this clean copy of Gunstar Heroes complete in box, and I was, at the local game store doing some trades, I went ahead and picked this game up just because a lot of your local game stores, they put limits on trades now, and they don't really let you trade for the stuff that, is really good that, they know you want. So they put limitations, and I was limited. I really wanted to get a copy of Herc's Adventures for the Sega Saturn, but just wasn't able to trade for it. So picked up this clean copy of Gunstar Heroes. I think I have this on the Game Boy Advance, but I didn't have one on the Genesis, so this was one that I added here. Pretty cool pickup. All right, more trades. So picked up a very clean copy of Ribbit King for GameCube. Now this is a game that I actually traded for with the intention of selling, just because I didn't really know what this game was about. But when I did put it in to test it, it seems like a pretty cool like adventure type game. So I think I'm gonna keep it in the collection and play it a little bit more, and then maybe later on down the road I'll trade it. But this was one that was a really cool one, and I know Ribbit King is up there in terms of GameCube game value. So this is one I added to the collection as well. And again, these were all trades. Here goes another really cool trade. So traded for this one, used a bunch of trade-in credit to pick up this very, very clean copy of House of the Dead for Sega Saturn. This was like one of the only Sega Saturn pickups I made this year so far. Haven't really done too much Sega Saturn game purchasing, but this was one that I went ahead and added to the collection. The House of the Dead is just a classic game. I think you can get this on like the Dreamcast as well as the Wii. But the Sega Saturn version is like one of the original versions and one of the best ways to play it, just because the Saturn just has that whole arcade feel. So really cool pickup there. That was a trade-in, and it is complete in box. It does have the manual, it has the registration card, it has the Sega pamphlets. I mean, this was like as fresh as can be, complete as can be. It's got all the inserts, all the manuals, and then the disc, of course. This little foam piece, I need to change this out. But the disc, of course, is actually, it's in pretty good shape, if I remember correctly. The disc is, yeah, disc is in pretty decent shape, so good stuff there. So yeah, a pretty clean copy of the House of the Dead for the Sega Saturn. All right, and then just moving right along here. Whoa. So next up, another trade. Well, no, this wasn't a trade actually. I sold some games, and then I had been looking for a copy of Lords of Thunder for the Sega CD for a while. Just couldn't find a copy. So I knew I was gonna wind up having to get it online. So I wound up selling a bunch of games, put together the funds, saw a very good copy online for roughly around $2 and change, and went ahead and snagged it up. Lords of Thunder is a very, very cool shoot 'em up, side-scrolling shoot 'em up. For the Sega CD. It is also available on the Turbo Graphics, but I think the music is a little better on the Sega CD. So this is a really cool one. I'm really glad to get Lords of Thunder. Almost beat it. I haven't beaten it yet, but I've almost beaten it. Very, very fun game. All right, then we have a couple Working Designs games that I was actually able to trade for. The first is They. Pretty cool RPG. I know nothing about this game. But when I was at the, my local game store doing some trades, that day I was just looking for games with value. I had a lot of store credit to burn, and I didn't want to burn it on shovelware, so I figured adding to my Sega CD collection would be a really cool thing. And I know Working Designs has some pretty great RPGs, so this is one that I added. I will get into this, see what this game is about. I'm more of like an action shoot 'em up kind of guy, but I'll definitely play a good RPG whenever I get the chance. And then we also have a copy of Lunar Eternal Blue for the Sega CD. This is a pretty cool game. This is a pretty expensive game. I didn't realize until I traded for it and realized how much trade credit I burned on this game. But again, another RPG. Don't know a ton about this game. I know that it's out on the PlayStation. And I know the Sega CD, obviously, it's on the Sega CD as well. Definitely looking forward to getting into this one. Don't know much about the Lunar series, but this was one that I saw at the game store and added there. So a lot of trades during this first half of the year, but I have one more, which was a straight up pre-order. And I had a lot of pre-orders this year, but didn't get a chance to go through them all, but I'll take you through this one. So this is the Axiom Verge and Axiom Verge 2 like dual combo limited edition setup here. It's like a pretty cool collector's item. And as you can see, it's got this whole pixel art frame that I believe has a light built into it. And then it includes both copies of Axiom Verge and Axiom Verge 2. And as you can see on the back, Axiom Verge is a game that really just feeds into what I like, that whole 2D side-scrolling action platforming. The graphics on the first game were pretty tight, but it looks like Axiom Verge 2 just kicks it up a notch in the color and the pixel sprites. So Axiom Verge 2 was a really cool pickup that I was glad to get. And that does it pretty much for the pickups for 2023 so far. I'm really excited about some of what I got, including Sonic Blast Man 2, some of the Sega CD stuff, and really, I would say probably one of my favorite pickup, one of my favorites, if not my favorite, is probably going to be Lords of Thunder, as well as Sonic Blast Man 2. Just two really sick action games, games that I've wanted to try and play. So I figured I'd just give everyone on the channel an update as to what was going on. Where I left off, I had been selling a bunch of games to start an Airbnb business, and that's actually going really, really well. I haven't had a chance to post any updates on that yet, but looking forward to kind of letting everyone on the page and everyone who subscribes know what's going on with that. But I just wanted to share a few mid-year pickups. Hopefully you've been finding some really cool rare stuff so far this year. And look forward to hearing about your pickups. Well, I am the Y2K Collector. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking in. Hope you're having a great week and a great summer and a great 2023. I'll talk to you next time.